My real service date, as John said, was February 9th. I was on a night shift, so we weren't going to really do anything. John and I talked about pushing it a month to March 9th. So I'd be back on days. A lot of the people with whom I work normally would be on days with me. So I thought that's great. That gives me a month to lose, like 40 pounds. So that should be So then on March 9th, there must have been no three-way communication because we didn't really cement this in. But on March 9th, nobody was here. Trish was on vacation. I didn't see John. This is quite a celebration. Then John came in and we talked about it. He said, okay, let's do it next week, which is today. So I thought, that's great. That's going to give me one more week to lose those last pesky 38 or so pounds. So didn't do too well at that, but that's okay. Just my history, I applied when I was 19 and I was a junior in high school.
No.
16, I'm sorry. I applied when I was 16 when I was a junior in high school in 1970.
You graduated early, not late.
1970. What did I say wrong?
You said you were 19 when you applied. Yeah.
I applied at age 16 in 1970 is what I meant to say. 2 weeks later, I turned 17, and then they called me in for a physical and said, run down to 72 West Adams. And I forgot the doctor's name, but I'll remember how the physical went. Forever. And he said, okay, pack a lunch and head to the garage in Glenbard. So I started up here in Glenbard on February 9th on that very day. I was supposed to work part-time from 4 p.m. to 10:30 Monday through Thursday. And on Fridays, I could stay till 12:30 in the morning like everybody else did. So part-time for the 4 days and then an 8-hour day the Friday. That summer, between my junior and senior year, I went full-time. And I was supposed to tell them when school started again in the fall to go back to part-time. Well, I went to summer school in the mornings and worked full-time at night so I could graduate early. So my senior year, I never told them that I went back to school. I stayed full-time, went my senior year to high school, graduated in January, and just stayed on full-time the whole time through. So I neglected to tell them what was going on.
So your whole career's been a scam.
My bad. The best part of that, going to school and working all the time, was that the only time I could see Barbara was when she'd come up during my lunch break at 9 o'clock at night and bring me lunch. So we had lunch in the parking lot from 9 to 9:30, and those were some great lunches. Some of the best part.
They didn't have all those cameras out there then?
Yeah, they didn't have any cameras. So I graduated after 3.5 years out from Glenbard East, right here at Glenbard. From the garage, I went to substation operating, and that was an effort to get off night shifts. That was the big move. You got to get off these shifts. They're terrible. So I went there. Well, you see, I went from working 5 days a week night shifts to any day, any holiday, around the clock. I didn't really make much ground on that one either. 40 years, yeah, it's actually, you may find this hard to believe, that's actually the longest I've held a job. I've worked for about 20 different bosses in about 6 or 7 different departments. April 1st or April 11th, I'll have been here at BPO for 11 years. So it is fair to say that this is the longest I've held any job. I've been in this building longer than any other assignment I've had. Some of the notable events of my career. Back in the 70s, when I was a garageman, it's a helper status, I was the guy that did all the Portillo's runs for lunch hour all the time. And our whole afternoon had been wasted on a safety meeting about hydroplaning and driving on wet pavement and all that. And I had my regular chores to do, gas in the trucks and everything, so I wanted to get this hot dog run done in a hurry. Well, I took off, and just as I was taking off from Portillo's, the gate started to close out here. And I thought, man, I'm going to be able to make that gate no problem. So I hit the throttle, and I thought, I'm not going to make that curve. But when I hit that gate, it went like that, and it kind of spun around. So I proved that safety meeting was accurate, and everything they said was happening. Take off on wet pavement. That's one of my accomplishments. I broke my foot when I was a mechanic in DVA on a Friday afternoon and showed up to work Monday morning, so there was no sick time there. I was a mechanic at the Byron Tower Line job, and I rolled over a truck out on German Church Road 5 o'clock one snowy morning.
Safety first.
Safety first. I had my seatbelt on. I was hanging by my seatbelt. So all that worked out well. I put almost all of Bedford Park in the dark by closing in the grounds. The corn products had forgotten that they had placed on their equipment. That was an accomplishment that got me my name around a little bit. I've been to the bottom of the Metropolitan Sanitary District deep tunnel in Stickney. That was a very interesting thing. I was able to walk out one step of the network center that's above the observation deck of the Hancock building. That was amazing to see the city from up there. Scary, but amazing. I've flown in the line patrol helicopters way in the days before Haverfield. And just lots of other things that I've been able to do because I worked here. That really are things I'll always remember. I was the last LD to hold shift in Old Western on a Saturday, and I have a picture of me locking the door as I walked out, and Western was shut down completely. And when we moved from Old Southern Division to the OCC, I was the last one to hold shift in Old Southern, and I have a picture of me locking that door and walking out as well.
You got keys for this place?
They lock by themselves when you walk out here. So. Some of the top officials that I've worked for in the company, I started when J. Harris Ward was the top guy, and not a lot of people remember that, and I couldn't remember his name until I talked to John Blazekowicz. Thomas Ayers, James J. O'Connor, and John Rowe. Those have been the guys that have run the company since I've been here. I actually have helped to make quite a few bosses look good. Damn good, actually. People that I worked for that became vice presidents, Ernie Wayman was an district manager. Linda Kuzniar, she became vice president. Paul McCoy, he was my district manager. Bruce Renwick, those are 4 I can name. This mojo that I have for making bosses look good, it didn't quite jibe well with Ron Regner. I don't know, the jury's still out with that one. But I have great hopes for what I might be able to do for John. We'll continue to work on that regard. I've seen quite a few vice presidents come and go as well. There was Vito Stagliano, if you remember him, Carl Krosky, Paul McCoy, Sam Skinner, if anybody remembers him, Pam Strobel, that's just a few. It's been quite a carousel of vice presidents through my career. Over the 40 years, Barbara's been my home support, my inspiration, almost every day. And other than her, the things I cherish the most are the people and our relationships. I've grieved with friends over the loss of family members. We have a fresh one right now we're dealing with. They've grieved with me over the loss of my parents, over my career, and my brother. I've celebrated births and bar mitzvahs. Barb and I have raised 3 wonderful kids. And they've married 3 wonderful people as well. We've been blessed with 6 grandkids. The whole fabric of my career is woven with some really terrific threads of friends and experiences that I'll always remember. And I thank you all for coming. And after you enjoy your meal, see me for your raffle tickets because I still have this holiday.